Profound truths are often not expressed verbally, they are sensed. Have you ever stopped to think why a partner can hear "I love you" many times and still distance himself? It's because those phrases, as vital as they might appear, are not always the complete flame. At times, they are simply the starting spark. And right now, what we are approaching is the blaze. Before we proceed further, please click that like button and subscribe. Not for my benefit, but because I am dedicating all my effort into this content. I'm not reciting a text. I am speaking from the part of me that truly grasps how deep this subject extends. It goes beyond simple reasoning, past surface advice. This message is for the part of you that's tired from constantly analyzing, finished wondering about his feelings, truly prepared to be appreciated while becoming essential in his experience. That is what we are developing here, and I need your complete focus. So visualize this: you enter a space. You're in the same clothes, same smile, but something has changed. The way you carry yourself is different. You aren't glancing around hoping he will notice you. You already command the area. You sit next to him, not in a way that begs for his attention, but in a way that makes it impossible for him to disregard your presence, even if he wished to. That is not accidental. That is your force. Because true appeal is not about being the most conspicuous, it's about being the person who connects with the spirit. That does not happen by trying harder. It happens when you become someone who remains in his thoughts long after the room has become empty. Somewhere along the way, you were taught a nice but weak belief that men desire speech, that if you just utter "I love you" enough times, he'll stay committed, as though feelings operate like a security combination. But this is the reality. Men do not remain where they are instructed to. They remain where they sense something significant, where there is substance, where it's genuine, established, and undeniably solid. Because men, they don't just hear, they perceive. They remember the way your fingers followed his skin like it mattered, the way your laughter felt like liberation, the way you turned and walked away, not due to anger, but out of calm confidence in your worth. That kind of person does not need to beg to be remembered. She is already engraved in his mind. And do not mistake this for pretending or putting on a performance. This is not about acting. This is about revealing, showing the aspect of you that moves with emotional substance. The kind of person who understands that quiet can sometimes resonate louder than any "I love you." A person whose existence conveys tales that words never could. This is not some collection of strategies. This is an awakening. 12 approaches to make a man feel truly cherished. Not through empty statements, but through a presence that stirs something profound within him. So deep that even the words "I love you" become a soft sound compared to how you reside within him. This is for the individuals who already know they are sufficient but wish to become memorable. We are not following old guidelines, we are breaking them. All those stale suggestions that told you to stay reserved, not be too passionate, forget them. Because when your passion is rooted in honesty, it becomes something he cannot leave. You are not here to be well-mannered. You are here to be unforgettable. So focus on every phrase, every rest. This is not unnecessary information. This is the shift, relationship insights set alight. And when this concludes, I do not want you to simply grasp your strength. I want you to personify it. If you are with me, speak it out loud. Put it in the comments. Let it echo through you. I am the anchor. That is correct. Not a pull, not a mist. Gravity. Now stay attentive. We are about to start this. Envision this. You are having dinner with him. That comfortable restaurant you both like. Low illumination, gentle music, the type of setting where even the utensils feel romantic. He is facing you, hair slightly messy from the day in that top that makes your breathing falter a little. He begins telling a story, something important to him. Your device vibrates. You look down, just a moment. A message that is not urgent. You look up again. He is still speaking, but something has altered. His voice is still kind, but the brightness in his eyes, it faded. And in your chest, you sense it. You left the present moment. It was not deliberate. Life is relentless. Work, deadlines, group conversations, a million things demanding your attention. You were not neglecting him due to indifference. You were simply caught in the rush. But in that quick second, something minor occurred. He felt it. He will probably not say a thing, but a small barrier starts to form, and over time he shares fewer and fewer of those sensitive details he once shared easily. Because true devotion is not built on big statements. It is discovered in the calmness, the unsaid, and genuine attention. That is affection in action. It is not about keeping eye contact like he is performing. It is about making him feel like in that instant he is the focus of your attention, even when you are surrounded by others. Perhaps you are thinking, what if he does not even realize when I am fully present? What if I give him my complete focus and he is still absorbed in his screen? Hear me. When a person leads with presence, she changes the whole atmosphere. She does not need to pursue his focus. She becomes the focus. Presence is not a thing you provide. It is who you are. And that kind of presence, it is captivating. It is not loud, not exaggerated, just genuinely real. Let me share something he will never forget. He might not recall the text you sent, but he will remember the way you looked at him as if nothing else mattered. That kind of event stays with him. So when you sit next to him, do not carry your mental list of things to do. Do not scroll partially while nodding. Arrive calmly with stability. Show him with your energy, I am here with you completely. That is uncommon and that is unforgettable. Be with him like your spirit is listening. In a world designed for distraction, a person who is established in presence becomes the wonder. She becomes the moment he did not realize he needed. And when we discuss touch next, it is not just about physical contact. It is a conversation, a memory, a silent truth. Go say it now, write it, whisper it, feel it within you. I am the presence. Now visualize this. He comes home after a lengthy day. He is quiet, tired, carrying a burden he might never put into words. You step forward, smile, and wrap your arms around him. Not a brief hug, not a half-hearted pat while your mind is occupied elsewhere. A real embrace, full arms, full spirit. You hold him for 7 seconds. You inhale together. And something changes. His chest relaxes. His grasp loosens. Without a single word, he receives the message. I am here. You are important. We are still connected. That is what touching signifies. Not just physical proximity, but emotional security, memory, comfort. Men often will not request it, but their hearts crave it. Their bodies hold tension, and your touch, gentle, calm, purposeful, conveys a reality deeper than speech. I choose you repeatedly. You have experienced it too, have you not? A quick kiss feels like routine. A slow touch, it opens something inside. It lingers, it speaks, it resonates. A rushed touch is commotion. A purposeful touch, that is melody. So next time, do not just walk past him. Pull him close, like you mean it. Let him relax. That is when his shoulders drop. That is when his spirit sighs. That is when the connection deepens. Not because of physical desire, but because of familiarity. Hold him like you have faith in him. Like there is nowhere else you would prefer to be. Because that kind of contact does not vanish, it remains. Not just on his body, but in his remembrance and the way into a man's emotions. It is not only food, it is the care behind it. Imagine this. It is a normal Tuesday, nothing remarkable, just fatigue in the air. But he walks into the cooking area and there you are preparing his preferred meal. Not because it is simple, not because it is quick, but because it makes him feel recognized, understood, safe. He might not say it aloud, but you will notice it in his posture. He will exhale in that subtle way men do when they feel appreciated. Because for a man, food is more than sustenance. It is memory, it is solace, it is connection, it is evidence that someone thought of him when no one else did. You did not ask what he desired, you simply knew. And in a world that constantly asks men to bear everything silently, that moment of attention, it means a lot. Maybe you are thinking, I am not here to serve anyone, I am not here to play house. And I understand, this is not about traditional roles. This is about emotional understanding, the ability to care with exactness, to say with your actions, I see what brings you calm and I enjoy being the one who provides it. Because that is not about submission, that is about connection, that is about depth, that is about offering something genuine in a world focused on the superficial. What you are truly communicating is, I see you and I recall what brings you happiness. And that is unforgettable. That is connection. Even if it is just warming up food with care or baking something that fills the space with comfort and nostalgia, even if it ends up a bit overcooked, even if there is flour everywhere, it is never about flawless execution. He is not judging the meal. He is sensing the devotion underneath it. Because when a man steps into a place that smells like something made, specifically for him, it is not just his appetite that awakens, it is his feelings. And that sensation lasts long after the last mouthful. You are not cooking to impress him, not putting on a performance. You are expressing affection in its purest sense. Because what is next is not about what is served on the plate. It is about reflection. The version of you he cannot stop observing, especially when you are not attempting anything special. It is not about showing off. It is about reminding yourself that you are the flame, and he is fortunate to feel that warmth. So picture this. It has been an exhausting week. You have been wearing casual pants, your hair in a loose bun, oversized top, because honestly, life is messy. But this evening, you choose to shift the feeling. You slip into that garment, the one that fits your shape just right. You enter the room, and suddenly he forgets what he was thinking about. He looks at you like he is seeing you again for the very first time. And no, it is not about the material. It is about what it represents. Because when you wear something that silently conveys, I still want to inspire you, even after everything life presents, it communicates volumes without a single word. Now you might wonder, do I need to get dressed up just to keep him interested? Definitely not. You do it because you are invested in how you feel. Because when you feel assured, lively, bright, you do not just capture his focus, you reclaim your own. You look in the mirror and think, she still has it. Men might be drawn to appearances, yes, but more than anything, they respond to the energy behind it, the kind that flows when a person remembers her own glow. So do not get ready for him. Do it for that inner part of you who refuses to diminish. Every smooth action, every gentle breath, every step you take says, I am choosing to be present in this devotion. And that is not a minor gesture. That is everything. Visualize this. You are securing your athletic shoes, not because you are aiming for a certain figure, not because some season is approaching, but because you want more time beside the person you care about. You inhale deeply, you move your body, and it is not about vanity, it is about commitment, a quiet, firm guarantee. You are communicating, I want to be here, not just now, but for years ahead. For all the happiness, all the plans, all the future moments. That healthy drink in your container, it is not a punishment. It is an expression of care. Because this is what is important. Your health does not only benefit you, it becomes a benefit to him. When he sees you care for yourself, balance your emotions, protect your calm, he notices something enduring. He sees a person who is fully dedicated, not with just words, but with steadiness, with devotion, with effort. A person who does not merely say, I love you, but demonstrates, I plan to be here. Maybe you worry, but what if he does not acknowledge it? What if he is not matching the same effort? Let me tell you, your purpose is not wasted simply because it is not spoken. Your constancy communicates powerfully. Even when no one praises you, self-care is not self-indulgence. It is devotion in action. And when you protect your well-being, you are also protecting the love you are fostering. Now, what is coming next is not about physical power. It is a different kind of strength. The kind that exists in your speech, in the words you say that encourage him. Inside, every man is a younger self silently questioning, am I good enough? You do not resolve that question, you comfort it. Imagine this. He is in the cooking area opening a container, removing the waste, organizing things. He is not looking for commendation. He is simply doing what is needed. And you look at him and say with a genuine smile, "I appreciate how you manage things without needing to be asked." He might just nod, but something in him feels reinforced, because even strong men carry unspoken uncertainties. Am I seen? Am I valued? What soothes a man more than compliments? Being observed, being truly noticed. It is when you say things like, "I see how you ensure the door is secured every night," or "I notice how you always repair what is broken without complaining," or "I felt how you created room for me when I needed to express myself." That is where closeness begins. Not in grand displays, but in quiet acknowledgements. Perhaps he is not skilled with verbal replies. Perhaps he forgets to reciprocate it. But when you shift from expecting to appreciating, you build something stable. And a man who feels encouraged does not just remain, he grows. Speak to his essence. Not to overpraise him, but to nurture him. Now imagine this. He is stretched out on the sofa, earplugs in, absorbed in some random program or game that you do not understand. You walk past, glance at him, and instead of sighing or interrupting, you say, "Enjoy yourself, dear. I will be nearby." No stress, no sarcasm, just confidence. And he looks up grateful, perhaps even surprised, because suddenly he realizes something. Being with you feels effortless because you do not require constant reassurance to feel stable. A man who is given room to breathe contributes more when he returns. You want to reside in his mind always. Be the person who is fine when he needs independence. The person who knows true affection is secure enough to exist on its own, even in calm moments. He does not need you every second. What he needs is to feel he can be himself and you will not become distressed. You do not disappear when he is not constantly next to you. And here is the truth. A person who grants a man the freedom to miss her becomes the kind of longing that stays in his heart in the best way. So when he mentions he is going out or just needs an hour alone, do not worry. Do not assume the worst. Let it be what it is. Him refreshing, him reconnecting with himself. You do not lose a man by allowing him space. You keep him by having faith in the gap in between. And when he comes back, he returns completely without reluctance. Now let us discuss intimacy, the kind that is not hurried. In this rapidly moving world, everything is fast. Embraces, discussions, closeness. But what leaves the deepest impression is not speed, it is depth. Visualize this. He has had a difficult time. You reach for him, and instead of rushing into passion, you slow it all down. You trace his body gently. You take in his scent like you are discovering him anew. You let your energy guide, not your need for speed. And in that gentleness, something precious occurs. He stops holding back. He releases. Because true intimacy is not about achieving a result. It is about creating a moment, one that supports him, that tells him without words, you are important. Sometimes intimacy is not intense, it is calm. It is not how quickly your hands move, but how meaningful your contact is. When you stop rushing toward a peak and instead settle into the present, everything changes. He does not just react, he yields to your breath, your rhythm, your concern. That is when his defenses drop. That is when his heart speaks. Let him sense you. Not just your body, but your purpose. Let him feel the quiet extend between kisses. Let it communicate, you are home. Perhaps you wonder, but what if he does not meet me there? What if he stays hurried? Then you slow it down. You guide the interaction. Because when a person introduces stillness into intimacy, she redefines connection. He remembers that more than anything. He remembers how your hands told him he was adequate, how your kisses asked for nothing, how your presence enveloped around him like the truth. So slow it down. Be the flame that remains. Let your intimacy be less about the spark and more about the steady radiance that comforts him long after. That is the lasting impression. That is what he cannot forget. And by now you have likely observed the consistent element running through all of this. It is not about doing more things. It is about doing what is important with focus, with feeling. It is not about earning affection. It is about embodying it, allowing it to exist in your look, your voice, your actions. Because true devotion does not shout, it whispers, it provides stability, it endures, and that is what makes a person unforgettable. Not the amount of her words, but the significance of her honesty. Because a man might hear, "I love you," 100 separate times from 100 separate mouths and forget them all, but he will never forget the person who made him feel like he could finally relax. The one who saw past his barriers, who loved him not for what he could be, but as he was, who did not pursue flawlessness but gave acceptance to simply be.